If you're interested in making films with your action camera, check out Action Camera Filmmaking. It's on Amazon right now in paperback and for Kindle. And if you're running low on money, there's also an economy version of it. So check that out. And if you're new to YouTube, I have a book called The YouTube Producer's Handbook, also on Amazon in Kindle and paperback formats. What's one of the quickest, least expensive, low-profile vlogging and production setups for YouTube? Let's talk about it. A few videos back, we were talking about vlogging, and I talked about how you don't need a lot of expensive equipment to vlog. So I'm going to break down what I currently use for vlogging. Now, this is a 2-camera setup, but yours doesn't have to be. The main thing is that this setup is generally inexpensive and low profile, meaning it doesn't leave a big footprint and it's predominantly mobile. I'll start with my main vlogging camera, the Sjcam Legend. You can usually find this online for about $130 or maybe a little bit less. It's a native 2K action camera that uses interpolation to record footage at 4K resolution. While I still think the SJ5000X Elite had some of the best image quality from an interpolated camera, this one holds its own. It has a multitude of frame rates, better electronic image stabilization, a USB microphone jack, perfect for catching great sound while vlogging, not to mention the tripod screw at the bottom that makes it a big plus for grab and go shooting. My B camera is the Sjcam M20, another interpolated 4K action camera. It's their smallest camera on the market and will run you about $120, give or take a few bucks depending on where you get it. I've used this camera for quite a few videos on my vlogging channel. The image quality is nice and the sound quality is decent enough. As a matter of fact, this used to be my primary vlogging camera until I thought I lost it. Now that I have it back, I continue to use it. I typically keep it in its cradle because of the tripod holes at the top and bottom. The camera is old school. There's no touchscreen, so you're going to use the buttons on the side to go through the menus. The buttons have a tactile feel and are very responsive. Like the Sjcam Legend, it has a number of frame rates including 4K, 2K, 1080p, and 720p at 120 frames per second, which is used for slow-mo. So even with this one, you have a lot of options. But if you are willing to spend a little bit more money, then I suggest the SJ7 Star. The SJ7 Star is a native 4K action camera with a ton of features, and it's still $100 less than the GoPro Hero 5 Black. Like the SJ6, it has a microphone jack and a nice compact form factor. It has an f2.0 wide-angle lens that really helps this unit get some pretty good low light for an action camera. On the back, it has a 2-inch touchscreen and an insane amount of frame rates. The standout on this camera being 1080p at 120 FPS, which is a must-have for high-quality slow motion. The Sjc does 720p at 120 FPS, which leaves absolutely no room for error considering you're already upscaling on a 1080p timeline. And like other cameras of its type, it can be recharged or powered from a battery pack, which is super useful. So you're probably saying, why isn't this your primary vlogging camera? Simple. It's not as convenient. The others have tripod holes or housings that have tripod holes. This one has to be connected to a mount that then connects to the tripod, which is fine for a controlled environment or a planned shoot, but not so much when you want to quickly grab some unplanned B-roll and you don't want to fill around with your camera. You just want to put it on the tripod and get the shot. Speaking of tripods, you're going to want one. Nothing beats three-legged support. I carry a Yongtang mini tripod. Many other companies make them as well. Manfrotto makes one. You guys know about the Gorilla Pod and other tripods like that. So it's a lot of them on the market. I use mine as both a tripod and a selfie stick. It's what I carry most of the time. But if I do specifically need a selfie stick, I use this one. It came with my M20 and it's a higher quality stick than the one that I had. I can snap the M20 remote to it, and it also fits snugly in my camera bag. You can also use a selfie stick in conjunction with the mini tripod to create a monopod setup. The next form of stabilization you're going to want is a suction cup mount. Don't sleep on a suction cup mount. They're inexpensive and incredibly useful. I use them for a lot of shots, even when I'm using my G7. Most people, including myself, use these for car shots. They're useful for both exterior and interior shots. This shot from my 2014 horror film, The Perfect Letter, was done with the suction cup mount in Kodak Playful, which was a flip style camera, somewhat of a precursor to action cameras. If I were shooting this today, I'd use the Sjcam Star in 4K, and that would allow me to get a wider angle and probably an overall better shot, because today's optics, even the small ones, are simply a lot more capable. Another thing that can be easily overlooked is the microphone. If you get the SJ6 Legend or the SJ7 Star, spring for the mic. It's a decent USB lapel mic, same kind of thing that works with the GoPro. You can find these for about $10 to $20 depending on where you shop. After you guys get all this, you're going to want a bag. You know what I'm rocking, the BUBM roll bag. It's a really nice bag. You can roll it right up and drop into a messenger bag, drop into a book bag, however you roll. No pun intended. Now, you're going to need a computer. So if you have a laptop that you like to use, I'm not telling you to buy anything different. You guys know I rock the mid-2012 15-inch MacBook Pro. But before I got my MacBook Pro, I did all my videos on the 2013 11-inch MacBook Air. These are going for about $400 or $500 on eBay. But then again, so are the mid-2012 i5 13-inch MacBook Pros. There's even some good prices for the 2013 i5 MacBook Pros. That being said, there's a whole slew of inexpensive Windows laptops on eBay, and these are new. So it all depends on your budget, what you're trying to do, and how much you want to carry. Now, I can't stress this enough. I'm not telling you that you have to have all of these things or any of these things. I'm just giving you some low-cost alternatives to what's thrown around on YouTube all the time as the hot new thing that you just have to have. You don't just have to have it. Even the cameras and equipment that I'm showing off, there's items that cost less than this. You have to decide whether that quality is good enough for you or not. I'm giving you the things that I think are good and that I can vouch for because I use them. The Sjcam cameras, the MacBook Pro, Panasonic G7, the various bags and things that I use. All of this is stuff that I use and I can vouch for and say, I use these things for this reason, and this is how you can use these things as well. But just like we talked about before, instead of focusing on the tech, we all love the tech, we all love the cameras, the computers, all that stuff, but let's get back to focusing on the content and growing and building your channel. You know, we're trying to grow and build our channel, and I want you to do that same thing. Build your channel, build your community, focus in that area. And what type of content are you going to give people? Are you doing story times, tech videos, art videos? Maybe go to a spot where you can really think, get a notebook, and really kind of write down the ideas that you have, what you want to bring forth on your channel, and then you can better assess the kind of equipment that you need to aid you in your vision. There can be a big difference between the equipment that you start with and the equipment that you end with. Think about the amount of YouTubers that started their channel with their phones. So just keep that in mind, and once you start making money on your channel, then you can take that money and reinvest in your channel. You can buy better equipment, you can buy cameras, better lighting. There's a lot of stuff that you can get right now that's very inexpensive. So keep that stuff in mind. If you like this kind of video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to grow this community this year. So you guys take it easy. Nathan Brendan Masters, Asta.